difficult because, you know, I do a lot of traveling for work, and then plus I have a family and everything, so we don't, you know, we're not one of those bands that literally is in the studio every single day for a couple of hours, right? We're in the studio every week for a couple of hours, maybe. So it gets, it gets difficult to try to establish a momentum, and that's sort of what took so long on this record, was just figuring out what direction we wanted to take it of all of the possible directions we had sort of laid out.
There's definitely a lot of self-critique on our part, because we want to put out the best possible product for our fans, because they show us a lot of love, we want to show them a lot of love back. You know?
I think the new album, Homeland Insecurity, has more variance in style than the previous two records. I mean, all of our records are sort of concept records in a way, but musically we did some different things this record than we've done on the other records. So it still has, you know, the trademark sound, but
yeah, I wanted to try some different stuff, like kind of the gabber kind of sounds. He wanted to try some kind of more moodier things, but the trademark sound's still there, just a little variation on it. This one, a lot of music was written, and it took a long time to filter through all it to decide which ones we wanted to actually use. Like, a lot of time it's basically a melody and a bass line written first, and then adding some beats later and stuff, and then I'll play a bunch of stuff with Rexx, and he'll decide, okay, that one's cool, that one's not so cool, kind of thing like that. And then once we find something we both agree on, then we'll start fleshing it out into a full track. As far as like gear, don't have like the best gear, so a lot of the sounds are created by layering like 3 or 4 sounds together to make just one lead line or whatever, you know. We start out with some stupid little cheap synth and then start layering it with another one and keep adding on and kind of build the sound from there.
You know, a lot of times he comes up with stuff on his own, and then I'll come over and I'll listen to it. And, you know, some things we say, okay, well, this is an 820 track or a possible 820 track. And some things will be like, this is more of a Brutus Shaft sound, so maybe this is something for Brutus Shaft. Or we'll say, this is really good, but it's not us. It's neither of those products. So we just sort of shelve it and put it in a folder somewhere in case we ever start, like, I don't know, pop band or something. We ended up with maybe 50 sketches or so for this album, and we had to whittle it down to about 10 that we really liked. And that was sort of a process. Some of those things got bumped out along the way, and some things sort of got bumped and came back. And
the first track on there, Call of Glory, that was written a couple of years ago and pretty much all fully recorded, whereas like the ballad on the album, Love Until Death, that was pretty much recorded at the last minute right before we sent it off to the label.
Homeland Insecurity was sort of the first thing that popped into my head when the department was created. And it's just such a pathetic lie. The Homeland is definitely not more secure than it was at the onset of this war on terror. If anything, we're sacrificing our own, people are willingly sacrificing their own constitutional civil rights for the illusion of protection from an enemy that in part doesn't even exist, and in part is nothing more than the product of the administration. I mean, in a lot of ways. I mean, the thing that irritated me in the wake of 9/11 was this, believe me, I work blocks from the World Trade Center. So, I mean, I was ready to pick up a gun and go over there and shoot some people myself, so don't mistake my message. But this whole rallying cry of they hate us for our freedom was just such bullshit. No, they hate us because of our foreign policy, and they hate us because of who we're allies with. And it's really quite simply that. To get to that point, you have to play a lot of small clubs in front of 20 people, and then you hope that maybe 2 or 3 of those 20 people leave the show thinking that you're one of the best bands they've ever seen, and they tell a couple of friends, and you work on the law of averages. You hope you can build up momentum because, there's really, in this scene, the only way that you can really reach out and make an impact with an audience, aside from having an internet presence, because that's become critical, but is really still the same traditional stuff. It's club play and it's live shows, and we've had a lot of people say to us over the years that, they were like, I thought I liked FGFC820, and then I saw you guys live, and then I realized that, I didn't even have, half an idea of what you were about. We've been very fortunate to reach as large of an audience as we have. I mean, we played a show in Lima, Peru, and my daughter said, "Why are you going to Lima, Peru to play an industrial show?" She said, "It's nothing but like, farmers with babies on their backs and stuff." And we kind of were like, "Yeah, who's going to be there?" But it was, we were really surprised at how many people were there. They all knew all the words, and and now there's talk about going back to South America and doing, like 7 or 8 countries down there. So, which is something we're really excited to do because bands go and play Europe and European bands come and play the US. And, some people play Mexico. But to actually go down and do Santiago, to do Buenos Aires, to do Lima again, to do Bogota, it's something we would really like to do.
Probably one of the biggest parts I like about going out and playing these shows is just meeting new people and trying new things, and going around the world doing these different things and stuff. I mean, I never would have thought I would be driving a Mercedes on the Autobahn or going to the top of the Aztec pyramids, but it's all impossible because promoters and our fans and just hook us up, because we're not like the type of band that just wants to go sit backstage and just be all rock star type. We want to go out there and actually mingle and meet new people and stuff like that, and why do you like us and stuff like that, and here, have a beer, hang out with us, whatever like that. It definitely gives us like a better grip on like what kind of music we want to produce and what kind of people we're producing for,